the Sean Payton masterclass continues, as in the third round, he goes out and gets an absolute stud who people around the NFL are blown away by. We're going to break all that down and so much more on this video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ben. I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan. It helps me out a lot if you like the Broncos as well. If you would like and subscribe, let's dive into the news of the day. And that news is that the Denver Broncos got the quarterback they wanted all along in the first round, and then pair him with an edge rusher who never should have been there in the third round, and we got him. So here it is. It is Jonah Ellis, the edge rusher out of the University of Utah. He came into all of this offseason stuff and all the pre-draft workout with a torn labrum, and he ended up last year being the second highest leader in sacks in all of NCAA football with 12 sacks, just right behind massive red flag here with Latu, who was medically retired before coming back. So it is a much less risky position and only one sack behind that. If you'd gone into this NFL draft process saying like we were going to get the top edge rusher and then Bo Nix in the second or third round, we would have been thrilled. Yet we get both of those guys in a different way, and I think we need to be extremely, extremely excited about it. So Jonah Ellis, son of an NFL player, brother of multiple NFL players currently right now. Sean Payton drafted his older brother a few years ago. This guy Jonah Ellis comes from a long lineage of football. We know he's a smart player, obviously being around the game, having brothers in the game. That just gives him a competitive advantage that I don't think you can sleep on. And you just watch his highlights as a pass rusher, and he is dirty, man. Like, he is so insanely talented. His speed and burst off the edge. He's got a spin move that looks like an NFL move already, and that shouldn't be surprising when your dad played in the NFL, your brothers play in the NFL. It ramps up your ability to pick up some of these moves. And so it's just crazy that after multiple years and not having first round picks and not having second round picks, like, we come away with just one of the top edge rushers in the league, or in college football, and the lead leader in touchdowns as well. And this is amazing news for the Denver Broncos. A lot of draft analysts predicted Jonah Ellis to be a top pick in the first or the second round if it was not for coming into this with a torn labrum. So I'm feeling incredibly excited about this, that there is no doubt that he isn't a developmental guy. He is going to get thrown in on that edge, and you are going to now have really insurance if Cooper ends up like needing the bag next year. We have a platoon of guys on the outside, but we don't have like that name, like the Von Miller, the Bradley Chubb. We need a guy who can step up and do that. I feel incredible about putting him there with Baron Browning, Bonito, Cooper. Our edge is now set, and I'm feeling amazing that he was able to fall to us. If you look at his RAS score, they essentially RAS score is relative athletic score, and they compare you to every player at that position, and they're going all the way back to 1987 with that, and they give you a score on this RAS out of 10, and he's an 8.58. And so out of every single defensive end since 1987, when I was 2 years old, he is number 256, and that is incredible to have him, knowing that he has the mental capacity to play this position because of the lineage that he comes from. And he's a Sean Payton guy. His brother drafted by the New Orleans Saints when Sean was there just a few years ago, and that is a fantastic news. Really the only downside of him coming into this, and the reason he dropped to the 74th on most people's big boards, was truly that injury that he had with a torn labrum. But that is not a worry. That's not an injury that you see happen over and over. And if you were to, I think were the Denver Broncos to draft Dallas Turner at number 8 and then try to trade back in to get Bo Nix, we would have had to give up more draft capital. And so we end up getting a player who is just a little bit below Latu, a little bit below Dallas Turner, and we were able to pick up Bo Nix before another team got him. And we broke down yesterday that Sean Payton wanted Bo Nix all along, and that he threw up massive smoke screens. So I think this NFL draft is playing out exactly how Sean Payton wanted it to. Really, you look at the lineage here, and I think there is a lot to say about the power of like lineage, especially like with these defenders. And you look at the Watt brothers, you look at obviously the Bosa brothers. There's something to say about the fact that you have 4 different Ellis brothers now who have played in the NFL. So you got Caden, Christian, and Noah, all who have played. And they just have been around the game and they get it at a different level. And that NFL bloodline is really important, especially at this position. And just cool to see the same thing with Bo Nix, that we are getting smart football players who are athletically at the top of their game. And that is incredibly, incredibly exciting. Sean Payton talked about like how different Caden, his older brother, and him are, but very excited to have him, and he knows the work ethic that comes in that family, and work ethic certainly spreads throughout family lines. Jonah Ellis, incredibly excited to play in Denver. He knows what it's like. We even know his dad, Luther Ellis, not only played for the Denver Broncos, but was our team chaplain during the Super Bowl 50 run. And we are incredibly excited. Are the Denver Broncos going to continue this trend of drafting bloodlines and perhaps get a McCaffrey brother in a later round? What do we think is going to happen? I'm going to be covering all of that, but I think this draft played out exactly how Sean Payton wanted it, in that we got a top edge rusher and we got the quarterback he wanted all along. Let me know in the comments, how are you feeling so far about the Denver Broncos draft over these first 2 days? I think this rebuild we are competitive. We are getting guys who are ready to step in and play next year, and I'm thrilled to death with how this is going. I broke down yesterday that Bo Nix wasn't necessarily the quarterback I would have drafted, but the more I read, the more it seems like he was who Sean Payton wanted all along. And the fact that Sean Payton has really played this board out perfectly to get a top edge rusher and to get the quarterback of the future here, and both really high character guys, both NFL bloodlines, and that is just very, very exciting. So thanks for being along for the ride. What do you hope that we do today in day 3 of the NFL draft? We have a top Oregon wide receiver still on the board. We've got a ton of picks here, and George Paton and Sean Payton talked about how much flexibility we have because of all the picks that we have and that we were able to acquire in that Jerry Jeudy trade. We are on a run for the playoffs, and I feel very, very confident, and this couldn't be playing out better than I'd even dreamed just a few weeks ago. So thank you so much, Broncos country, and let's giddy up.